At the class reunion, my ex-wife froze when she heard I was married, forcing a smile as she asked why it was so sudden. I gave a faint smile. It's not that sudden. We've been married for 2 years, and our baby just turned 1 month old. The color drained from my ex-wife's face. As I was leaving, she blocked my car. Ethan, after 7 years together, can you really just let it all go? I slowly rolled up the window. What else? I don't have a habit of picking up trash. During the party, while everyone was deep in conversation, our old class president, Mark, came over to offer me a drink, but Chloe intercepted. He's allergic to alcohol. I'll drink for him. The moment she said it, our table fell silent. It was only then that Chloe seemed to remember we had been divorced for a long time. Chloe and I met in high school. Her family didn't have much, and her father was an alcoholic who would beat her whenever he got drunk. After every beating, she'd hide in a secluded corner behind the school to cry. That's where I found her once with a scrape on her forehead. I handed her a Band-Aid, and she smiled through her tears and said, "Thank you." From then on, we started talking, and she began to open up. We'd meet in that same spot to talk and study for exams. I remember cautiously taking her hand, and she squeezed back tightly. I asked her what college she was applying to, and she said she'd go wherever I went. She was always smiling back then. But not long after, I heard Chloe had dropped out. When I went to her house to find her, she had already moved away without leaving any word. The next time I saw her was in college. She was working at the 7-Eleven across from campus. I recognized her instantly. "How have you been?" She nodded with a sad smile. "I'm okay. Back in high school, my dad killed someone in a drunken fight and went to prison. We had no money, so my mom took me back to her hometown in Ohio, but she remarried and didn't want me around. My grandparents passed away, so with no one left, I had to start working to support myself." Chloe said it all so calmly, but her voice was trembling. My heart ached for her. She was smiling, but all I wanted was for her to let herself cry. I pulled her into a hug, not knowing in that moment if what I felt was love or just the deep ache of missing her. I cooped her face in my hands. "If nobody else wants you, I do." She leaned in and kissed me. "You promise." And just like that, Chloe and I started dating. I took on part-time jobs while going to school, determined to give her a better life. We had to pinch every penny. But every time I saw Chloe smile, I knew it was all worth it. After graduation, my degree landed me a stable job. But in a fit of youthful ambition, I quit the following year to start my own company. Chloe supported me without a single question. When things were at their toughest, she secretly worked 3 jobs, surviving on just 5 hours of sleep a night. 3 years later, the business finally took off. I was so excited, I picked Chloe up and spun her around. She just laughed and buried her face in my neck, telling me how capable I was, never once mentioning her own sacrifices. Right then, I swore I would spend the rest of my life making her happy. I proposed that night. She nodded shyly, letting me slide the ring onto her finger. I kissed her softly, and she whispered breathlessly, "Ethan, I want to be with you." In the dim light of the bedroom, she called out my name again and again. As the moon drifted in and out of the clouds, she placed a reverent kiss on my forehead. "Ethan, thank you for what?" "Thank you for loving me. For loving someone as broken as me." After Chloe and I got married, she became a stay-at-home wife since she hadn't finished college. But I knew she yearned for something more. She loved to paint. Back in high school, she was always sketching in that spot behind the school. I suggested hiring a professor from RSD to give her private lessons. She was ecstatic, but then hesitated. "Won't that be too expensive?" I told her, "The company's doing great now. We're not short on cash, and I earn money to spend on my wife." Chloe paused, her eyes welling up as she smiled. "You're so good to me, honey." She turned out to be a natural, picking it up incredibly fast. I spent all afternoon cooking a special dinner to celebrate with her, but she told me her art teacher, Mr. Thorne, had invited her to a fancy restaurant, and she couldn't say no. I told her I wasn't comfortable with it. He was a man, and it was late. She said I was overthinking things, that he was just her teacher and nothing more. Chloe grabbed a shrimp from the pan, told me my cooking was way better than any fancy restaurant, and said we'd have our own celebration when she got back. She gave me a quick kiss on the cheek and was out the door before I could even respond. I sat there and waited, reheating the dishes as they got cold, opening a new bottle of wine when the first one ran out. But I waited all night, and Chloe never came home. She finally walked in the next morning. "Where were you last night?" I asked, my eyes heavy with dark circles. She jumped, clutching her chest. I had a bit of wine with my teacher and got a little tipsy. I ran into a friend and just ended up crashing at her place. A friend? What friend? Someone I met at a gallery opening. "Look, it was just one night. Why are you interrogating me?" She headed for the bathroom, saying she needed a shower. Then she noticed a table full of food and asked in surprise, "Why did you eat any of the dinner I made last night? You said you'd be back later to celebrate with me." "Huh, did I?" Chloe frowned for a second, then laughed it off. "Oh, I forgot. It's fine. It's not like it's anything valuable. Just throw it out. We can go out for a bite later." In my memory, Chloe had always been so frugal and down to earth. Growing up in the shadow of her dysfunctional family, she never had enough to eat or warm clothes to wear. So she cherished every bit of food. Back in high school, when I started bringing her breakfast, I'd buy her the same amount I ate, not thinking about a girl's appetite. She could never finish it all, so she'd secretly stash the leftovers in her desk drawer. Once a classmate knocked over her desk, and a pastry fell on the dusty floor. While others were about to throw it away, she quietly picked it up and ate it. Even after we got married and our lives improved, Chloe kept that habit, never leaving a single bite on her plate. Even if she was stuffed, she'd say, "I don't have much of a degree, so I have to rely on you to support me at home. You already work so hard every day. What right do I have to be picky? Besides, I don't think there's anything wrong with being frugal. It's the wasteful people who lack character." But then she changed. When we ate out, I'd ask for a to-go box of the leftovers, and she'd say it was tacky. She'd buy tons of groceries, pack the fridge, and then a few days later, having lost interest, she'd throw it all out untouched and buy new things. She had to have designer bags she'd use once and then give away, and couture dresses she'd wear for a single night before shoving them to the back of the closet to be forgotten. I tried to talk to her about it a few times, but she'd just say things were different now. We couldn't afford it before, but now that we had the money, why bother saving? I was speechless. I'd look into her eyes and feel like I was looking at a stranger. A thought started to creep into my mind. The Chloe I once knew might be gone forever. Chloe went out with Thorne again. She sent me an iMessage saying they were going on a 3-day sketching trip to the countryside. I told her I wasn't okay with her spending 3 days alone with him, but she had already made the plans without telling me. By the time I got home from work, she was already gone. She wouldn't answer my calls. It was like she had vanished. 3 days later, she returned, acting as if nothing was wrong. Before I could even start questioning her, she brought up the trip herself. She went on about how surprised she was that Thorne was so different outside of lessons, so serious in class, but really shy in person. She said she learned so much on the trip, and it even happened to be Thorne's birthday, so they celebrated with a cake. Then she mentioned how her period came unexpectedly, and Thorne had to go buy her pads, and how the cashier mistook him for her boyfriend, and said he was a keeper. Finally, she suggested, "Honey, why don't we have Thorne over for dinner sometime? He's such a great teacher. I really want to thank him properly." That's enough. I couldn't take it anymore, and yelled at her for the first time. "You're a married woman. You spend 3 days and nights away with another man, just the two of you, and then you come home and casually tell your husband every little detail about your time together. Chloe, don't you think you've gone too far?" Chloe stared at me, stunned, then frowned. "Ethan, when did you become like this? What's that supposed to mean? You used to be so respectful of me. Why are you so controlling now? Yes, I'm your wife, but I'm also my own person. I have the right to have friends and interact with people. That's my freedom, isn't it?" I tried to explain. "That's not it. I'm not trying to control you, but as a married woman, don't you think you should maintain a certain distance from other men? So, you think I'm going to cheat on you?" Chloe looked at me in disbelief. Ethan, is that really what you think of me? She got more and more worked up, finally grabbing our wedding photo from the mantel and smashing it on the floor. A dirty mind sees dirt everywhere. With that, she slammed the door and left. She hadn't even been home for an hour. I stared at the shattered glass of our wedding photo on the floor, a bitter feeling welling up inside me. Chloe didn't come back until late that night. Still fuming, she walked past me without a word, took a shower, and then lay in bed scrolling on her phone. You're not supposed to let the sun go down on your anger in a marriage. I sighed and went over to her. Look, I was too emotional this morning. Don't let it get to you. Chloe was quiet for a moment. Then her tone softened. It's okay. I was wrong, too. She hugged me. I'm sorry, honey. I wasn't thinking about your feelings. But you have to talk to me nicely. Of course. I'm going to get angry if you yell at me. Okay. I know I was wrong, I said, patting her back, feeling helpless against her volatile moods. She smiled then, the anger from the day completely forgotten, and we were intimate for the first time in a long while. I thought we had moved past it, but a few days later, Chloe was back to her old self. She was painting in her studio one day, and I went to bring her a plate of cut fruit. When I saw the canvas, I froze. What is that? I asked her. A portrait, Chloe said casually. I've never painted a live model before, so I thought I'd give it a try. I think it's turning out pretty well. She had told me when we first started dating that she didn't think she had the skill for portraits. And besides, painting a person was something sacred to her, something she'd only attempt for someone she truly loved. I had teased her back then. So, what you're saying is you don't love me enough yet. She had laughed shyly. I'll paint you after we're married. I'll do one every day until they cover the walls of our room. Now, 6 years into our marriage, she had never once painted me. But here she was painting a nude portrait of another man, Thorne. Chloe, are you out of your mind? Chloe looked confused. Why are you suddenly so angry? You're painting a nude of Thorne. It's just art. You're being too sensitive, she said, dabbing a mole onto the abs on the canvas with her brush. Nudes are common in the art world. It's not a big deal. You just don't get it. Why couldn't you paint anyone else but him? Why not him? He's my teacher. I respect him, so I painted him. Chloe had an answer for everything, but only she knew what was really going on in her head. I knocked the canvas to the floor. From now on, I don't want to see any more paintings of Thorne in this house. I'll find you a new teacher, and you will cut all contact with him. If you don't, we're over. Ethan, are you serious? Chloe exploded, snatching the painting off the floor like it was a precious jewel and glaring at me. You don't understand anything. With an attitude like this, I have no idea what I ever saw in you. And with that, Chloe stormed out of the house again. She didn't pack any clothes, just a painting. I had no idea where she went. Just like last time, she was unreachable, as if she just disappeared. A week later, Chloe returned. She agreed to my terms, found a new teacher, and stopped contacting Thorne. But she also stopped talking to me, determined to give me the silent treatment. She wouldn't eat the meals I cooked. I'd try to start conversation, and she'd ignore me. At night, she'd turn away from me. For weeks, the only words I got out of her were, "Oh, and HM." This went on for 2 weeks. The day I had to leave for a business trip, she was still giving me the cold shoulder. I tried to hug her goodbye, but she pushed me away. I sighed. I'll bring you back that perfume you like. Take care of yourself while I'm gone. Then I left. Even though I was out of town for the trip, I thought about her every day. I couldn't wait for the trip to be over. I rushed home excited to surprise her, but the scene that greeted me left me speechless. Through the half-open door of the studio, I could see Chloe completely naked, posing for Thorne. In that instant, rage flooded through me. I threw the door open and screamed, "What the hell are you doing?" Chloe saw me and scrambled to cover herself up. I'm just modeling for him, Ethan. Don't get the wrong idea. It's for art. Thorne chimed in from beside his easel. That's right, Ethan. I'm sure you understand, don't you? First, she painted a nude of him, and now he was painting a nude of her. Was this really art, or were they just having an affair under the guise of it? I was livid. Understand? Understand this? I yelled, swinging my fist right into Thorne's face. He didn't see it coming and went down hard. Chloe immediately rushed to shield Thorne with her body. Ethan, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? I wanted to hit him again, but she threw herself over him, protecting him, making me look like the villain breaking up two lovers. I laughed, a bitter hollow sound. You're choosing him over me. Chloe glared at me. So what if I am? Ethan, I'm warning you. If you touch him again, I'll divorce you. So this was my loving wife threatening to divorce me over another man. My heart felt like stone. I threw them out of the house, grabbed our marriage certificate, and filed for divorce that very day. As we parted ways, Chloe looked at me coldly. Ethan, I'm grateful for everything you've done for me, but I can't be married to someone so petty and insecure. You're not right for me. Maybe we were a mistake from the start. Petty? Insecure? I laughed bitterly. Yeah, she was right. It was a mistake from the very beginning. Snapping back to the present, I saw Chloe awkwardly lower her glass and pull her hand back. Mark, our old class president, quickly jumped in to smooth things over. Oh, that's right. Chloe's right. Look at me. It's been so long. I completely forgot. My bad, Ethan. Really sorry about that. I nodded and smiled. No worries. It's not a big deal. I can handle a beer. Chloe stood by silent. A little later, my old friend Mike brought up my wife. Hey, by the way, how come Sophia couldn't make it? I answered, the night nurse has the day off, so she's at home with my mom looking after the baby. Sophia. Chloe picked up on the unfamiliar name. Her expression filled with confusion. Mike said, oh, you probably haven't heard. Ethan's married now. Chloe froze, and it took a long moment before she could manage a weak smile and ask me, why was it so sudden? It wasn't sudden. We've been married for 2 years, and our baby just turned 1 month old. For the rest of the reunion, Chloe just drank, lost in her own world. As I was leaving, she stopped me. Have you been okay these last few years? I'm doing all right. You and Sophia, how did you two meet? We were set up. Oh, a setup? Chloe said, visibly relieved. That makes sense. You get to a certain age, you have to settle down, even if it's not for love. I gave a small smile. You've got it wrong. What? Chloe looked at me confused. We're not just settling. I love my wife very much. Chloe froze in place. If there's nothing else, I'm going to head out, I said, getting into my car and starting the engine. Just as I pulled out of the parking spot, she ran up to the car. Ethan, can we talk? Talk? What's there to talk about? How you ran off with Thorne only for him to dump you less than 2 years later. Or how you've decided to come back and want to rekindle things. I looked at her calmly. I don't think we have anything to talk about. I was about to hit the gas when she called out desperately, Ethan, we had 7 years together. Can you really just throw all that away? What else? I said, slowly rolling up the window. I don't have a habit of picking up trash. When I got home, my wife Sophia was waiting up for me. She gave me a warm smile and helped me off with my coat. You're back. I told Mom to go to bed. The baby's still being a little fussy. I kissed her forehead. Thanks for holding down the fort. Then I went into the nursery to see our little guy. Our son, Leo, started giggling the moment he saw me. I gently pinched his cheek. So, you're the one keeping Mommy up, huh? I think Leo just missed his dad, Sophia said, her eyes soft as she looked at our son. Look at him. He lights up as soon as he sees you. He was just fussing a minute ago. A baby this age can be a real handful. I took Leo into my arms to rock him to sleep, telling Sophia to get some rest. She told me she had kept some soup warm for me and went to get me a bowl. So, there we were sitting at the kitchen table sipping soup and talking about our day. I'm not sure when it started, but these late-night talks had become our little tradition, just unwinding, talking to the person you love about the little things, like her finding a buy one, get one free deal at the grocery store, or me getting teased by my coworkers for being the luckiest guy alive when I eat the lunch she packs for me. These small, insignificant things sound so fascinating coming from her. This was something I never had with Chloe. She would have just called me boring and childish. Looking back, I realize those were just excuses. When someone truly loves you, they're never bored by you, You could talk about grocery shopping, and they'd still find it endearing. Ethan, let's go on a date tomorrow. Leo was born. Mom said she'd be happy to babysit for the day. It really had been a long time since we'd had any time just for the two of us. I ruffled her hair and agreed. The next day, Sophia and I got ready and headed out. We did some shopping first, then planned to have dinner at a little place across the street. But as soon as we walked in, I saw Chloe sitting in a corner booth. What do you mean you're done with it? Thorne, that's not what we agreed to. Don't give me that crap. Even if we're broken up, you don't have to pull your funding this fast. You made plenty of money off my gallery show, so you're just going to screw me over like this. I hope you get what's coming to you. Chloe was on the phone while eating. She hung up angrily, and as she turned, she saw Sophia and me, and she froze for a second. I ignored her and found us a table. What are you in the mood for? Sophia asked, handing me the menu with a smile. Anything's fine with me. You pick. As she looked over the menu, she said, let's get the eggplant parmesan and the spicy fries and 2 juices. And for the main, let's get the garlic shrimp scampi. I know you love shrimp. Sophia had ordered all my favorite things. After we ordered, she wiped down my silverware for me and smiled. Hey, Ethan, doesn't this feel like when we first started dating? We go out to eat all the time just because we like watching each other eat. Oh, and do you remember the day you proposed? We were out to dinner, and you hid the ring in my water glass. You kept glancing over to see my reaction, but I was completely oblivious until the people at the next table pointed it out. It was so embarrassing. The guy over there said I was so dense I couldn't even recognize the proposal. I couldn't help but laugh, remembering that day. Sophia smiled and squeezed my hand. That's what I love about you. I remember thinking back then, Ethan is so handsome. I'd be the luckiest woman in the world if he were my husband. Her tone was teasing, but her eyes were full of love. From the corner of my eye, I saw Chloe clenching her jaw, her knuckles white. Time flies, I said. In the blink of an eye, we have a baby. Yeah, it does, she replied. I hope we can always be like this. Of course we will. When we're old and Leo is all grown up, we'll still be going out to dinner, holding hands. The waiter brought our food, and we were enveloped in a cloud of warm steam. In the noisy restaurant, it felt like we were the only 2 people in the world. Chloe couldn't stand it anymore and came over to our table. Ethan, what a coincidence seeing you here. Her smile was a twisted, unnatural thing, a forced upward curve on a fallen face. Chloe sat down across from us, as if she'd been invited. Sophia looked confused. I'm sorry you are. Chloe shot me a suggestive look before turning to shake Sophia's hand. I'm a friend of Ethan's. Oh, a friend of Ethan's? Sophia said, quickly pouring her some water. It's nice to meet you. I asked her wearily, my tone making it clear she wasn't welcome. What do you want? But Chloe ignored me, taking Sophia's hand. You must be Ethan's wife. You're very beautiful. Sophia, smart enough to pick up on the tension in my voice, tried to politely pull her hand away, but Chloe held on tight. I'm not just saying that. You really are gorgeous. Much prettier than Ethan's first love, but from the look on your face, it seems like you don't know anything about that, do you? I'm sorry. Hasn't Ethan ever told you about his ex-wife? I heard he was absolutely crazy about her. They met in high school, practically childhood sweethearts. I heard you 2 were set up, so you probably don't understand that kind of connection. Did you know he fell for her the moment he saw her? Loved her so much he was planning to propose before they even graduated. It's a shame her family had some trouble and they lost touch. But true love finds a way. They met again in college, and it wasn't long before Ethan confessed his feelings and they got married. He used to say, I love my ex-wife so much. I don't think I could ever love anyone that way again. But fate can be cruel, and a misunderstanding forced them apart. And then he met you, Sophia. Chloe let out a cold laugh. You know, I've noticed you're a bit like me in some ways. No wonder Ethan married you. His type hasn't changed a bit over the years. As she spoke, she squeezed Sophia's hand so hard it turned red. I'm his ex-wife. Sophia was stunned. I cut in, warning her. Chloe, that's enough. But she ignored me and kept her eyes on Sophia. Your name is Sophia, right? I don't mean to compare, but even if I did, you wouldn't stand a chance. You're just a housewife. I have my own career. Plus, you just had a baby, and your body is still recovering. I'm slimmer, more beautiful, and a much better fit for Ethan. Miss Sophia began trying to interject. I think we need to talk. Chloe cut her off. I know what you're going to say. You want to beg me to leave Ethan alone. Sorry, but you're in no position to ask me for anything. If we're talking about who was first, you're the other woman. You stole my husband and his love, things that should have been mine. You're just a replacement, and Ethan doesn't love you. Would he ever rent out an entire gallery for you? Would he buy your paintings at inflated prices just to support you? Would he cancel a major meeting just to have dinner with you? I didn't think so. But he did all of that for me. That's the proof that he loves me. I know you have a child, and don't worry, I don't mind. As long as you stay away from Ethan, I'll even take in your son. I'll be his mother. If you want to see him, I can arrange for you to be his nanny. But you can never let him know you're his real mother. Chloe finished her speech and looked at Sophia with a triumphant smirk. But Sophia just sighed. Miss, you've misunderstood. First, Ethan has mentioned you, but I wasn't interested, so I didn't ask for details. You're right. He's never done those things for me because I'm not an artist, and I'm not unreasonable enough to ask him to skip work for a meal. You said all this to try and scare me into leaving him, but I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. Ethan and I are legally married. We have a child together, and I trust that my husband is over his ex-wife. We love each other very much. As Sophia finished speaking, Chloe's smug expression faltered, and her face began to pale. Impossible. Ethan loves me. You're the one who got in the way. You're the one clinging to him. Why else would he reject me? I couldn't take it anymore. Chloe, you say all this with a straight face, but don't you feel any shame? You talk about loving me, but what about when you were sleeping with Thorne while we were still married? Why didn't you talk about love then? I didn't even want to bring up this old history, but you're just determined to make a fool of yourself. No, it wasn't like that. Chloe stammered at a loss for words. The other diners were starting to stare, and a few college students at a nearby table started whispering. I thought this was going to be the wife putting a mistress in her place, but it turns out it's the cheating ex-wife trying to shame the new wife. That's a new one. Yeah. For a minute there, she had me convinced she was the victim. I can't believe she's the one who cheated. He moves on, and now she's trying to cause trouble. She's crazy. Hearing the whispers, Chloe's face turned ashen. She looked at me desperately. Ethan, I know you still have feelings for me. You're just angry that I chose Thorne back then. Or is it the baby? Is that how she's trapping you? I can have a baby for you, too. I was so embarrassed for her. I couldn't stand it. I picked up my glass of water and threw it in her face. She was so shocked. She just stood there dripping. I looked at her with disgust. We're in public. Stop making a scene. Then I took Sophia's hand and we walked out. When we got home, I immediately apologized to Sophia. I'm so sorry. I know you love that place. I should have just pretended I didn't see her. I never thought she'd cause a scene like that. Sophia shook her head, not a hint of blame in her eyes. Honey, it's not your fault. We have nothing to be ashamed of. She's the one who cheated and made a scene. You don't have to apologize for her behavior. But what she said to you, I'm fine. Let her say what she wants. It doesn't affect me. Besides, everything she said was a lie. The more she tried to put me down, the more insecure she looked. I didn't even have to say anything. Anyone could see who was in the wrong. I was taken aback. I had always known Sophia was a wonderful wife and mother, but I never realized how incredibly strong she was. I asked her when she was saying all that stuff about me still loving her, did you doubt me for even a second? Not for a second, she said. You told me you were divorced when we first started dating. I chose to marry you anyway. That was my choice. And when you're married, you have to trust each other. I told you a long time ago that I trust you. I pulled Sophia into my arms. Thank you, my love. There's no need for thanks between us, she said, gently patting my back. After that incident, Chloe disappeared from our lives, and things were peaceful for a while. But just when we were starting to forget about her, she showed up at our front door. Sophia opened the door and was shocked to see Chloe standing there. Honey, who is it? I called out, walking to the door. When I saw her, my face darkened. What do you want now? I am your ex-wife after all. Is that any way to treat me? Chloe said with a bitter smile, handing a pair of tickets to Sophia. I don't mean any harm. I just wanted to invite you both to my new gallery show. We're not interested, I said, taking the tickets from Sophia and pushing them back into Chloe's hand. As I tried to close the door, Chloe stuck her foot in the way and pushed it open. It's just an invitation to a gallery opening. That's all. Ethan, why do you have to be so cruel to me? I had to laugh. You show up here every few days to harass me and my wife, and I'm giving you a courtesy by not calling police. Have I not been clear enough? Chloe, I have a wife and a child now. I'm not interested in used goods. Chloe's mouth fell open, and she stared at me, stunned. Is that really what you think of me? That I'm just used goods? Chloe let out a bitter laugh. Just make sure you don't regret saying that. Then she turned and left. A few more days passed, and we had completely forgotten about the incident. But then she pulled her next stunt. I had just finished dinner and was scrolling through some videos online when I came across an interview with a familiar face. Chloe, miss, we hear this masterpiece took you 2 years to complete, and that you recently turned down a very high offer for it. Does this painting have some special meaning to you? The reporter held the microphone out to Chloe, who smiled faintly and answered evasively. It does have a very special meaning. This painting holds all my love and longing for a certain person. We met when we were young, and we were deeply in love. It's just a shame that he doesn't seem to love me anymore. We've heard rumors that the man you're referring to is your ex-husband. If that's the case, are you implying that the reason for your divorce was his infidelity? Chloe sighed sadly, then gave a small smile to the camera. Please, let's not speculate. I only wanted to express my feelings through my art. I can't think about anything else. He's remarried now, and I don't want to cause any trouble for him. It's better to leave him with some dignity. OMG, what a bombshell. I knew she was divorced, but I just assumed they grew apart. I can't believe he cheated on her. She's being so classy about it. Not even dropping his name, tried to protect his reputation even after what he did. The comment section exploded with everyone attacking me and Sophia. Suddenly, Chloe was the victim. My phone rang. It was Mike. I picked up. Ethan, did you see that video that's trending? Yeah, I saw it. What the hell is wrong with Chloe? She was never like this before. When you two got together in college, all of us guys looked out for her. When you got divorced, we even called you out thinking you had wronged her. She told us you two just grew apart. How could she turn around and frame you like this? If I hadn't heard the real reason for the divorce from Dave, I would have fallen for it. 2. She has no shame. Ethan, don't worry. We can make our own video and set the record straight. All of us will back you up. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Don't mention it. The only problem is without hard proof that she cheated, it'll just be our word against hers. People just think we're lying to defend you. So what do we do? Just let her get away with it. Of course not. Don't worry. I can handle this. Tell the guys not to worry. I've got it. Are you sure? We've been friends for years, man. Don't try to tough it out alone. If you need help, we'll figure out together. I'm really fine. I already have a plan. Okay, good. I'll let you go then. Handle it and call if you need anything. After hanging up, I rushed back to the restaurant where Sophia and I had been. Excuse me? I asked the owner. Are your security cameras working? Why do you ask? On June 20th, my wife and I were here for dinner, and a woman caused a scene. Do you remember? I'm in a bit of trouble, and I need the footage from that night as evidence. I'll pay you for it. Of course, the owner, who was busy in the kitchen, thought for a moment, and then his eyes lit up. I knew that woman trending online looked familiar. That was her. I quickly apologized. I'm so sorry to bother you while you're working, but I really need that footage. The owner sighed. Look, kid, I'd help you if I could, but the cameras were broken that week. The repair guy just fixed them today. Just my luck. With Chloe twisting the truth and no video to prove my innocence, this was going to be an uphill battle. Just as I was starting to worry, a college student approached me. Hey, I heard you asking about the security footage. Yeah, why? The girl excitedly grabbed her friend's arm. We were here that night. We totally recorded the whole thing for the drama. Do you want the video? My eyes lit up. Are you serious? Totally, she said, pulling out her phone and showing me the full unedited video. I asked her to send me the video and try to pay her, but she refused, saying all she wanted was for me to buy her and her friend a bubble tea. After I bought them their drinks, they left, whispering and laughing to each other. This is going to be so good. As soon as I got the video, I uploaded it online. The internet went wild. Plot twist of the century. Chloe is officially canceled. She is so shameless. She's the one who cheated, and then she tried to frame her ex-husband. Poor ex-husband. He did nothing wrong. She's a morally bankrupt person. How is someone like her even a public figure, and she has her own gallery shows? Public opinion on Chloe flipped in an instant, and the backlash was brutal. The new trending headline was Disgraced Artist Cheating Scandal Exposed. Overnight, all her shows were canceled. The art community downed her, and her investors pulled out. Chloe panicked and called me. Ethan, I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. Please, can you forgive me? Let's just settle this privately. I'm begging you. She cheated, got dumped by her lover, and then shamelessly came back to me. She found out I was remarried and still wouldn't leave us alone, even threatening my wife to her face. When I rejected her, she got angry and tried to ruin my reputation with lies. And now that she's been exposed, she's panicking and begging for a truce. I laughed coldly. Chloe, have you no self-respect? The line went silent, and then I could hear her crying. Chloe said through her sobs, the only reason I'm in this mess is because I love you too much. I'm better than Sophia in every way. I've known you so much longer, and still you chose her. Ethan, how could you be so cruel? You really do just spew garbage every time you open your mouth. I said, almost laughing. You keep insisting that Sophia is beneath you, and that I chose her even though I don't love her. But you conveniently forget to mention the part where you cheated on me. Maybe if you repeat your lies enough, you'll start to believe them yourself. Stop making excuses for your infidelity. You brought all of this on yourself, and you deserve every bit of it. Then I hung up. A few days later, another story about Chloe's art show broke. Someone came forward and claimed that the very painting she had talked about in the interview was plagiarized from their senior thesis project. The original artist posted their work online next to Chloe's, and the similarities were undeniable. Chloe was trending again, this time for plagiarism, and was likely facing a massive lawsuit. After that, Chloe's career was over. Her reputation was in tatters, and she became a pariah. And I finally got my peaceful life back, living simply with Sophia, raising our son, and feeling completely happy. I knew this was the life I wanted. Music